Welcome everybody to the SLTV Star Series Season number 12 Qualifiers. This is the semi-final for it, XX5 Dota, Solo's new team. And I do believe Concentration himself should be Solo. Of course, since there's no actual ticket for this game, they don't have the official names. But Concentration should be Solo. And I do believe Hopes Come True might be Nexus, not entirely sure, but for BBC, or, well, it's going to be XX5 versus BBC in this best of 3 series. And it was initially supposed to start at 20 CT, but BBC, having some issues, had to, well, prepone it. Or, well, let's just say they had to reschedule it to an earlier time. And here we are, 18 CT, XX5 versus BBC. Should be a pretty damn exciting game. Solo's new team, Undershock, Kingar, definitely known players already in their own right. But whoa, that's a bold pick coming out. Axe was the first pick for XX5, but BBC, even though Axe is the hard counter against the Dazzle, they still pick it up. I do have to say I have no idea what to expect from this. I mean, there must be some kind of battle plan. Maybe don't pick up Shallow Grave, or they really have to have some way to shut down an Axe completely, but I'm not too sure if they're gonna be able to do so. I mean, Dazzle is definitely still, even with the Shallow Grave getting kind of countered by the Culling Blade, before Axe gets level 6, you can still go and be aggressive. So maybe any kind of aggressive tri-lane, even just dual off lanes might not be too horrible, but picking up a Batrider now maybe makes it a little bit less likely. Quick look over the bans though. Brood Mother as well as a Timbersaw removed by XX5. Both are heroes that BBC are extremely comfortable running, and I'd say probably up there with their most played heroes. But Juggernaut and a Lina. Juggernaut, a standard ban. Lina, I think it's pretty much dedicated to Kingar, respect banning against him. He has definitely played Lina. Well, at least I've seen Lina being handled by Kingar more than anybody else in the past, like, half a year or so. Lina just overall not that popular of a hero, but Kingar does manage to make that hero shine somehow. Next set of bans though, XX5. What's it going to be for them? I mean, already seeing the Batrider and the Dazzle, and it's funny now that XX5, they have the counters to both of Balkan Bear's heroes. Vengeful Spirit, it wasn't really that big of a, like, brain exercise to like which hero will be picked up as the secondary one for XX5, having seen the Batrider, I think. Vengeful Spirit, all in all, is I think one of the best support heroes. So, I mean, it's Balkan Bears. They're gonna have a tough game ahead of them. And yes, I have gotten confirmation from the manager, or one of the managers, I guess, of Balkan Bears, from Ladutz, that Concentration indeed is Solo and Hopes Come True is Nexus. So, lots of kind of known names, at least in the CIS scene, and in Europe, I think most just people who follow closely the Dota scene, they might have heard of those names. So BBC definitely have a tough just road ahead of them in coming into this series. Troll though, the ban from BBC and XX5, also removing a Medusa after having taken out the Road Ranger. So what might we see from BBC? Or maybe they're gonna go like Dazzle Tusk +1, going aggressive that way. I've kind of failed to remember if Balkan Bears has actually played a Tusk though. I mean, I'm almost certain that they have, because BBC, they pretty much play everything that's a little bit out of the ordinary.
Shaker.
But just not in the recent past maybe. And Earthshaker will be the pick instead. A good defensive stun coming out, and of course, you can even use that Fisher aggressively quite easily as well. So early on, if they want to roam, Earthshaker might be wonderful for that. But BBC, I highly doubt it's going to be an aggressive tri-lane with Dazzle Earthshaker +1. It definitely might still be. They might go for like a Bristleback as the last one to follow, and just try to brute force their way through XX5. Before Axe like gets a Blink Dagger, just try to get a good hold on the game before that even happens. But XX5, they do need a secondary support. Might go for a Witch Doctor if they want to, for example. A Disruptor, I guess, wouldn't be absolutely horrible. decent-ish against the Batrider, although the Glimpse may not act fast enough. So the lasso might be there for like 1-2 seconds anyway. And just track the person who gets caught slightly out of position regardless. But we'll see if it's gonna happen. It's also a decent follow-up for the Axe Berserker's Call, especially should Axe get more than one hero in it. It's like Kinetic Field, Static Storm to follow. Those two heroes can't do anything for 5 seconds unless they have BKBs. And of course, even that may not be an issue if Aghanim Scepter should be there on the Disruptor. But they can even pick up some cores. Puck, for example, wouldn't be too bad. A hero that can just jump on the Dazzle, get the silence on him, make it sure that no heals will come out. And not only that, with the phase shift, you also have quite high of a possibility to not get completely wrecked by a Batrider jumping in. But the Disruptor was the pick indeed for XX5. So not all that surprising, and the only thing I'm maybe a little bit worried about is XX5. Of course, Axe, it was by no means a counter pick to the Dazzle. It was the order of picks came the other way around. But XX5, hopefully for their sake, they're not focusing too heavily on going for like a counter draft just to counter everything that BBC does. Sometimes teams tend to dig too deep, just get like too far into the mentality of like how to deal with your opponent, and they forget like their own playstyle. But having or not having seen XX5 in the past, this is my first time seeing them. I'm not too sure how long they've even existed as such a lineup and under such a name, but Phantom Assassin is the pick anyway now. A decent-ish hero to jump on the Shadow Fiend. With the blur, I mean, you can dodge right clicks for sure, but BBC, they have quite a lot of just nuke damage coming out from the Shadow Fiend's raises, of course. Dazzle's Shadow Wave can even do a massive amount of burst damage if enough units are surrounding a certain hero. But Phantom Assassin, I mean, the thing is, if you want to jump a Shadow Fiend, you would do well to have a BKB on you at the time. Especially should the Shadow Fiend maybe get off a normal Requiem of Souls, then die, and release that secondary passive Requiem of Souls upon death. I've seen so many heroes just get blown up by it, so has to be a little tad careful about that happening. As Zeus was the last man from BBC, want to remove a mass amount of burst damage, and to win a Shadow Fiend, although he can definitely hurt any other mid laner out there who's gonna go up against him, Zeus, just once you get level 5, even before that, just using Arc Lightning to last it as well as harass at the same time, definitely rather annoying to deal with, but level 5 onwards, just those lightning bolts, guys, those lightning bolts. It's not even funny how much they hurt, as BBC going for a Wraith King core as the last pick, unless they want to run an Earthshaker core, but it can work out in a sense that you can survive any kind of initiation, so that's gonna be a positive for sure. You're gonna have that lifesteal aura, which will help out the Shadow Fiend greatly in just man fighting and right clicking his way to just victory. But Wraith King, I just seen too many of that, or too many plays from that particular hero where he's just fallen off so hard. Although BBC, I don't really think they're aiming for late game anyway. Just being up against just purely only a Phantom Assassin in late game is already a real task to deal with. But Undershock picking up the Queen of Pain for their last pick here. So with this Queen of Pain, they're gonna get a little bit more control, lots more mobility. Of course, BKB might be a necessity, but even then, there's gonna be, of course, the lasso that can still go through it. But has to be just careful of where she blinks into. Looking over the lineups though, and who's gonna play in what lane. Ty, who is playing the Axe, will be in the off lane, leaving Undershock to play the Queen of Pain mid, with Solo on the Disruptor, Kingar to play the Vengeful Spirit, and Nexus will be the core for them, playing the Phantom Assassin safe lane. As for BBC, Massacre, of course, heading into the off lane, up on the Batrider today. Yapsar will be playing the support Earthshaker, leaving Hook on the Shadow Fiend. I'm not too sure, maybe Vladuts can confirm that for me, but is that Miracle or is this a stand-in? But Hook is on the Shadow Fiend anyway, with Illusionist on the Dazzle and the last being Padrino playing that safe lane Wraith King. And at the moment, the support from BBC might be expecting some form of aggression from XX5. Little do they know that the Observer Ward has already been planted on the other side of the river. Do we even have sentries? No, we do not. But Yaps are starting with boots. No idea what the plan is. Maybe just guarantee that Shadowfiend gets those early few last hits. Or is it really dual offlane? I'd expect Yapsor to just block off the wave here. Go regen up mana and then just go to probably the safe lane. Make sure that Axe doesn't get off to too great of a start, because if it would be Wraith King versus Axe 1v1, I think that would just favor Axe too heavily, to be honest. I mean, you may have the Stout Shield Padrino, but counter Helix wouldn't care about that one in the slightest. But all I can say is Wraith King, although that helmet is fugly, just goddamn ugly, the sword looks pretty badass. Top lane Massacre will be up against a tri-lane, so definitely gonna have a hard time. Early on, there's just gonna be that Thunderstrike harassment. As mid lane, oh, you can already see Hook, Shadowfiend, getting harassed by Undershock. Undershock, that early point into the Shadow Strike. Definitely trying to get that early domination when Shadowfiend is the weakest. Starting with the Wraith Band is going to be a little bit easier, but does only have one Tango left. So that's going to be rather devastating for him, and does have another set of Tangos coming out. He really needs those Tangos. Without those, he wouldn't even get to the bottle. He would have to play way too defensively. And playing too defensively just means you're not going to get those Necromancer stacks going for yourself. Earthshaker was even hanging about in the mid lane or close by, as Massacre in some trouble, possibly. Solo does have the glimpse, it's only level 1 though. Magic Missile, oh god, never mind, they went for the minus armor first. Wave of Terror was there. So Batrider makes it out for now as mid lane. Hook taking huge amount of damage. Does turn around with a Shadow Race, forcing out the blink from Queen of Pain though. Has 200 gold up on Padrino, did even pick up a Quelling Blade. Just to guarantee that easy last hits for yourself, as now Illusionist will go. Okay, so he's not Miracle, it's a stand-in. Little bit sad to see BBC having to pull in a stand-in for a pretty high priority game, to be honest. Lots in the line. Of course, there's still the final to be played up against either Meepwned or European Love Story. Oh god, that was solo. With an Invis Rune, gonna jump out with the Thunderstrike. Nice Fisher though, Shadow Races almost turns things around. They might get the first blood themselves. One more right click, nope. Thunderstrike, too much damage. Undershock, he was dropping so low. I swear to god, I thought that Shadowfiend is gonna be in range for the last right click onto Queen of Pain. But not to be the case. Yapsor still wants to keep on going. Nice Thunderstrike will cancel the Clarity, so Yapsor has to wait for a really long time. And the Glimpse takes Yapsor back. Man, that was so close as Massacre. 10 HP. Couldn't quite finish up the Wild Wing Ripper, but a triple stack still waiting for him, and it's not that hard for him to finish it up. Maybe even have Shadowfiend do it. But the thing is, with the Batrider having to resort to going into the jungle, it also means that Shadowfiend will not have that much to flash farm later on to catch up if need be. Lasted twice though, 9 and 1 compared to 11 and 3 up on the Queen of Pain. So it's not that big of a difference. And first blood, it was close. I mean, it was a really nice Fisher with great Shadow Race follow-ups. Tidal, level 4 already. Dazzle has to be somewhat careful. Of course, if he picks up that 1 point into Shallow Grave, it's gonna save you until Axe gets level 6. It might even save you if he's level 6, if Axe is just out of mana, let's say. The moment though. Oh, there's the Berserker's Call, getting some counter Helix procs. I think 2, the third one came later as Padrino already was out of range. But Nexus in the meantime, Phantom Assassin, enjoying his free farm, 21 and 5. Going for face boots first, no greedy Midas play. Might go for a Battle Fury, we'll see how much they want to just commit on farm. I'd expect though, just maybe like face boots into drums, into let's say a BKB. Or maybe just face boots into Helm of the Dominator and then BKB. Something along those lines, as the item ability apps are gonna get stunned up. Kinetic Field will keep him in place a little while longer, and Blink, Scream of Pain, Undershock picks up another kill, 2-0 for XX5. Off to a pretty explosive start. And, well, it's just up to BBC to stop them. Axe though, he's not getting that much gold. I mean, 15 last hits, not too bad at all for an offlaner, especially considering that the safe laner of BBC does have 18 last hits himself. As Batrider once again, 25 HP, does escape. A couple of creeps might get stolen by Solo though. It's only the Ogre Bruisers, not a big deal. But even so, had XX5 just... Oh, there's no final! So that's what I thought, guys. I didn't know if there... or how the format exactly works out. Oh, Undershock! Ah, he goes down. So the winner of this match goes into Pro League instead. I thought like maybe, just maybe, the winners of the semifinals will go, because there wasn't a date for the final. But I didn't get confirmation about that from anybody. So man, Vladutz, you are so knowledgeable as Ty. In some trouble now, get some counter helix procs, but Junior has to be careful. There's the Berserker's Call as well. Can you spin to win? Oh yes you can. Dunk to follow. Oh god. Good stuff coming out from the axe. Turns things around. Padrino just not beefy enough. Or maybe Ty just gets the RNG. And is he gonna go for Illusionist? I guess he is. Although Illusionist did get rid of the Battle Hunger. Nicely done. Using the Shadow Wave to last hit. Smart plays by Illusionist there, but not a big deal. As Vengeful Spirit, they finally claim the head of Massacre's Batrider. He has been toying on the verge of death for so long. Grave King even tried to TP in, but couldn't quite get it. But man, I'm just so happy that Vladutz is so knowledgeable and keeps me updated. What would I do without him? What would I do? So, both teams are playing for the win here to get into Pro League. But 6 minutes in, 5-1, XX5 ahead. Early graphs, about a 2500 net worth lead already. XP, the same, absolutely. So, if XX5 can carry on this momentum, especially with the axe, if he can get an early blink dagger, that might be extremely devastating for BBC to try to deal with. Especially if the Batrider himself should not have an early blink. And just a second, guys, just a second. Okay, all should be fine now. All should be fine. Yapsor though still hanging about in the mid lane. Might try to soak up some XP. Oh, I hear a Shadow Strike. Massacre in so much trouble and he is so dead. Undershock does have a blink to get out, or does he? Illusionist will get the slow. Fisher will follow also. They might even get the kill, quite possibly, but they need a tad more. 7 seconds still on cooldown. We're gonna have another Poison Touch coming out at the same time, so if he gets the Poison Touch before the blink, maybe so. Never mind, blink is there and suddenly Ty is coming around. Oh god, if he gets the Berserker's Call, he might or might not get the kill, because no creeps around means a really low chance of actually getting the counter helix procs. But Padrino might be going for a Hand of Midas mid lane. They get the stun on Solo. Nice glimpse though, but one Shadow Rays went through anyway. And with a helpful right click to follow, Padrino picks up the kill. And that's gonna be his Midas recipe. So even though the start maybe has not been the best, with the Midas he can still catch up, as Illusionist will lose his life. And are we gonna see some more kills? Undershock wants to go for Yapsor, TP out. Sonic Wave already used one more right click. Oh god. He's not gonna die in the base. Shadow Strike level 1 damage is not quite enough here. So nice escape by Yapsor, getting into the trees and just TPing out. But even so, they lost 2 heroes anyway. They did kill the axe though, so I guess it's not that bad of a trade at all. Slowing down the progression of the axe blink dagger farm. Vengeful now also picks up Tranquil Boots. Will be a little bit faster on his feet. But since it's not like he has a soul ring, still gonna be a tad low on mana possibly. Looking at the net worth though. Nexus, number 1, as was to be expected. Has been there for 1 kill, 41 assist. 62 last hits otherwise, which is 12 ahead of the Shadowfiend. I do believe Shadowfiend has farmed the jungle also slightly. So there's that to consider. But Shadowfiend still not that far, to be honest. I mean, he was harassed quite heavily in the lane, didn't have the greatest of starts. But now he is number 2 in net worth, slightly above the Queen of Pain. Wraith of King also surpassing, or well, let's say they're tied with the Axe. But Wraith King just having picked up the Hand of Midas, whereas Axe getting closer to his blink. I definitely think Axe is the scarier one for now. But trying to farm up the jungle. Wave of Terror with the minus armor even helps out. Counter Helix of course is physical damage. But they're gonna have to make sure those Tranquil Boots will not get stolen as... Oh! I missed the kill as just Fisher into Shadow Races. Queen of Pain, wouldn't think it's such an easy kill, but well executed by BBC, definitely showing that they by no means plan to just get beaten that easily. As well, Padrino, 600 gold, is going for the power treads, just the common Wraith King build. We'll see if he even wants to build a Blink Dagger or not. Maybe they feel like a Batrider and possibly an Earthshaker Blink will be enough for initiation. And just go for straight out damage on the Wraith King. Maybe a Mjolnir early on, get those lightning procs going. As Hook is going for a mech for their team. I mean, mech is always a nice thing to have. Extra armor, not too shabby, but most importantly just trying to negate the massive burst that Queen of Pain does. There's a tiny chance that he might not even get off the mech, of course, but there's always a chance when the enemy has like any kind of blink disabled. But speaking of blink, Axe does pick it up now, so Ty does have a magic wand finished with that blink ready. They have a static storm from the disruptor. Mid lane, the Undershock might be in some trouble as there's an Invis Batrider with a lasso up. No Undershock. He is so dead. I'd be extremely surprised if he does survive, but then again, never mind. Undershock is going the correct way, going into his own jungle at the moment. Will stack up the big camp. Massacre is there to scout it all out, but is he still going to go for the lasso? If he had a 4-step for a haste rune, easy lasso drag him just so far off anyway. But he's going to play it safe. Does get hit by the Scream of Pain, the Undershock. If he was paying real close attention, he might even have seen it. But at the same time, the tier 1 has been destroyed by XX5. Undershock though, dropping pretty low, will bottle up, so he's gonna be fine in the end. Mech finished on the Shadow Fiend, who is number 1 in net worth now. Really just... Oh, never mind, Padrino, he's gonna get dunked. Does have the reincarnation though, it's a really long cooldown. 260 seconds, gonna get slowed down by a Stifling Dagger. Trying to TP out, Berserker Skull still on cooldown. Dunk! Oh! He was starting to raise his axe to just decapitate the Wraith King, but mid lane Yapzor pops the Echo Slam. He's gonna need more stuns though, not gonna happen. Vengeful Spirit does limp his way to safety with about 50 HP remaining. Another TP out from Yapzor. Solo will get slowed down by a level 2 Poison Touch, but he's gonna be fine anyway. Ty, is he gonna blink? Are you gonna go for the Shadow Fiend? Shadow Fiend already level 11. Kinetic Field will not catch him as there's a sentry at the same time from Illusionist. Really well done as Undershock will have to just blink over the river towards his own side of the map. Looking at the graphs, there is still a 2k net worth lead and about a 22 or so 100 XP lead. But it's not as big as it used to be. So BBC on their way, just on their climb to get back into the leader seat here. Massacre still doesn't have a Blink Dagger though, although he's not horribly far. And oh god, if he dies now, no, lasso, oh god, it was a smart idea, but the Berserker Skull came out, and with the Sonic Wave they ensure the kill before Batrider can go, for example, towards this high ground and escape that way with the Firefly. I don't think the Sonic Wave was entirely necessary there, to be honest, but Massacre, I still have to commend him for trying to TP out like that. Lasso, and then TP out immediately. Just Queen of Pain herself wouldn't have been able to do anything, but the Illusionist smoked up. Will, or possibly will run into the smoke of the Axe as well as the Disruptor. But Axe might be running into 4 without himself knowing. Poison Touch will just slow him down, disable the Blink. But more heroes coming from XX5. Oh god, it's gonna be a 4-on-4 quite possibly here. Yapzor, Fisher waiting for it. Hook does see the Disruptor. Fisher even catches him as well. Is he gonna go down? Nope, gets the Static Storm first. Hook cannot really go for anything. Hingar, he's gonna go down, or is he Blink Berserker Skull? There's the TA coming in, or PA rather. No TA here in this game, but Padrino, no Reincarnation Dunk will get stopped by a Brave Fire Blast. But a 2-for-1 anyway. Vengeful Spirit only casualty so far as more blinks forward. They get the Stifling Dagger onto Yapzor. Nice Fisher, but no Echo Slam to just finish up the kill on Phantom Assassin, who does have a life still. Helm of the Dominator finish now. Axe, oh god, will the creeps kill him? Batrider, one more right click. No! No! Massacre, he gets denied of that kill. Nice glimpse by Solo, saving his teammate. And XX5, quite a few heroes drop extremely low, but it was just the fact that Shadow Fiend didn't get off a single raise. No Requiem of Souls. Well, the Death Requiem, yes, it went through. But, well, Undershock We'll just blink out. Man, Berserker's Hold, such a strong ability if you can catch, well, really anybody, but if you can get 2 heroes, people, at least today I heard it's called like a 10-second cooldown reverse polarity. To be honest, it's ridiculous, 3.2 second duration. Of course, you can still take damage yourself, and oh, Illusionist might be in trouble. There's the first counter helix, the second one, the dunk to get the kill. Axe level 11, has that higher threshold for the Culling Blade. What's the item progression though for BBC? Hook does have the Ogre Club, so working towards what they can expect to be a BKB to make sure that Static Storm, for example, doesn't catch you. And, well, Batrider does have his blink 15 minutes in. Kind of on the slow side, but better late than never, guys. Undershock though wants to go aggressive. He's only 900 gold away from finishing his Aghanim Scepter. And suddenly looking at the graphs, about a 5k lead in both XP as well as net worth for XX5. So looking pretty comfy here in their lead. And it's just BBC. They have to have Yapsar behind the Shadowfin, just kind of safeguarding him. Brave King though will have the reincarnation once again, and next time he dies will be a 160-second cooldown instead. Oh, we have a lasso coming out. They're gonna get Kingar before anything even starts. He's not gonna get the stun off, didn't even try. The Fisher, of course, made it so that if Queen of Pain really wanted to go in, would have had to use a blink, and suddenly might have gotten stunned. Nice. 5 heroes now, grouping up from BBC. Might want to just brute force their way through this tier 1 tower. It's not that high on health anyway. There is a glyph to buy some time if need be. And even Phantom Assassin might be making his way there. Does have a Mithril Hammer in the inventory. Almost positive it's going to be a BKB for him. But tier 1, in quite a lot of trouble, although tight. The Axe wants to come in from the side. Can he get the jump? Berserker's Call will slightly miss, though suddenly Fisher is there. Onto him, Echo Slam spent as well. Axe, he is just getting wrecked. Nice Sonic Wave will land on at least 3 heroes. Static Storm a little bit too late to follow. Batrider is the only casualty so far for the BBC side, but Padrino gets the stun on Kingar. He's gonna get jumped in return. Reincarnation slows everybody down, but where's the follow-up? BBC can't do anything. Shadowfin too low on health, and Padrino slowed down, glimpsed back behind the tower. Does have a blade mail, but will get stunned by a magic missile for now. Nice Fisher solo. He's so low, but he's not gonna die from this, or is he? Tower deny also by the Phantom Assassin. Well done. So BBC weren't quite coordinated there. Some of them wanted to jump in. Some of them just wanted to back off due to being so low on health already as it is. Of course, it would have meant they have to run through a Static Storm as well. But now, PA comes in, starts tanking up the Roshan, has the lifesteal, so a few crits will get him back to full HP in no time. Kingar, of course, with the minus armor of the medallion just now delivered to him, as well as the Wave of Terror. It provides altogether minus 12 armor onto Roshan. So gonna be quite an easy Aegis for Nexus to pick up here. But there's an Aghanim Scepter, Sonic Wave, level 2 now for Queen of Pain, 450 damage? Yes, 450 pure damage. So even the mech will not be able to negate all of that. As Yapsor trying to just desperately get his Blink Dagger going. Earthshaker Blink Dagger might be the one thing that gives them a tiny advantage, and at the moment it's not like they're that far behind. Just purely looking at the net worth, yes, Batriders and Access difference is big, and also the Dazzle is really far behind as a support, but other than that, Shadow Fiend and Padrino on the Wraith King, they're not doing all that bad, so all is not lost, not by a long shot. We are after all only 18 minutes into the game. There is still about a 6k net worth lead, 6k in XP also for the side of the Dire XX5. But it's definitely not insurmountable by any means. It's just the fact that, first of all, BKB when it comes out for Phantom Assassin is gonna be really hard for BBC to deal with. They do have a reasonable amount of physical damage, even more so when the Weave is there from the Dazzle, to be honest. And the Weave might play a huge part in just whoever wins those fights anyway. If you can get the perfect Weave landing on both enemies and allies alike, might be a huge thing, as Phantom Assassin does get stunned by a Fisher, then Flame Broken as well. So they want to defend this tier 1, or at least slow it down if nothing else, because XX5, they're not farming any other lanes. They are preparing for a fight. Blink back into the smoke though. The only one not smoked, of course, is Phantom Assassin with the Aegis, and Kingar, even he's ready to save the Aegis if need be here. But XX5 coming in from the side. BBC, they may have no idea what's going on at all. BKB, wow, that's a huge pick up the smoke, but it gets broken immediately. Nice static storm, Sonic Wave lands on at least two. They're gonna get massacred before he lasts out, but BKB and Cherofin, Requiem of Souls will catch a couple, but it's not all that close. Pedrinho glimpsed back as well, just to make sure Solo himself does not die, and suddenly no BKB on Cherofin, no mana to do anything with the dunk. Axe decapitates the Shadow Fiend. Death Requiem, not enough to get a kill. XX5, perfect time to jump. BBC, they were not ready for it. They themselves wanted to smoke and catch XX5 off guard. But nice static storm, great Berserker's Call. Sonic Wave could have maybe landed on even more, but definitely the damage was done. 3 heroes down and 18-7. That was quite crippling for BBC. And that's gonna be pretty much the BKB finished on the Phantom Assassin. Shadowfiend with his own BKB. He just couldn't get close enough. They didn't have that lockdown necessary to ensure that Requiem of Souls is as close as can be to target, because the closer you are to the Shadow Fiend when he casts it, the more damage you will take. So, unfortunately, didn't work out for that fight, but BBC, I highly doubt that they're gonna give up yet. And of course, even if, let's say if they lose this game 1, this is a best of 3 as you can see from those boxes here as well. Just waiting for the 1 game victory for anybody. So even if they should lose this one, there's still a solid chance for them to just come back into the series, tie it up, maybe even take it with the 3rd game. But now, Earthshaker getting his Blink Dagger, that is a massive pickup. I do believe Yapsor was one of the heroes not to die in the previous engagement. I may be wrong on that one, but I think it was the Batrider, the Dazzle, as well as the Shadow Fiend to just fall over there. Also Brave King, still Hand of Midas running, going for a Sange for now. Might be a Heaven's Halberd even. Might be an SNY, just not to get kited around somewhat. But tier 2, XX5, with the Aegis still intact for another solid minute. They're gonna claim it tier 2. Maybe just, they could even pressure high ground if they really wanted to. It's not a necessity by them, but they're gonna keep on going. I mean, they have the Aegis, so I guess why not? At least force BBC back so BBC themselves won't get like a tier 1. Make sure that BBC are as starved as possible. Then again, Shadowfiend is not heaping back yet. Fisher does come out as well, slowing things down a tiny bit. The Dazzle Weave was used aggressively. Minus Armor sticking, Brave Fire Blast to buy some more time still. But as long as he has the Aegis, I don't think he's gonna waste the BKB to dodge his stun or anything, but they did buy enough time for Hook to get a tier 1 at the same time. Tier 3 does drop down lower than half HP. But as long as it survives, BBC, I think they're going to be fine with the trade. Any kind of gold they can get, they will be happy about it. Or they should be at least. Now, Basher will be the next item choice though for Nexus. So he's getting some pretty solid farm. Then again, so is the Shadow Fiend. But so far the Phantom Assassin has been a tiny bit scarier as another smoke from BBC. Maybe this one will work out. Massacre leading the charge, no Force Staff though. Makes it a little bit harder for you to drag somebody completely out of position. But Kingar, oh god, poor Vengeful Spirit is gonna get lassoed. Nobody to swap him out. And he is just left to die. I think probably the smarter choice. And let's say Phantom Assassin try to Phantom Strike in. Oh, they get the glimpse on somebody. No, they don't. BKB and Hook will cancel it, but they got a 9-second BKB out with a glimpse. That's a solid trade. I mean, glimpse, what's the cooldown? 15 seconds? 18 seconds on the last level, so definitely good trade as Illusionist. Oh, he only wanted to counter ward, guys. Why punish him? He only wanted to do good for his team. Do not punish the supports, guys. Do not punish the supports. Well, 8-19. Graphs have kind of stagnated around the 8k net fleet as well as the XP. But XX5, they are not done yet. They're gonna get the jump on Pedrinho. Reincarnation is there, but it's still only level 2, so a 160-second cooldown dunk. Do they want to escape with the movement speed, or do they want to keep on going? Keep on going is the word from them. Pedrinho pops the Blade Mail, gonna buy some time, but BKB from the axe gets the Berserker's Call, another dunk. Wow, even Phantom Assassin BKB'd for this. I guess they were expecting BBC to put up more of a fight there. So 10-second BKBs for both the Phantom Assassin as well as the Axe on cooldown now. But even so, getting a kill on the enemy core Brave King is worth it. Brave King did purchase up a Blade of Alacrity, which is gonna mean that SNY is in the making for him. As a stun comes out, the hoops come through. Nexus does get the Phantom Strike out before Massacre grabs him with the lasso. I do believe King R would have been ready for the swap anyway. Level 2 swap should have enough range there. Queen of Pain now getting closer to a Lincoln Sphere of all items. So, kind of afraid of the Batrider. I was expecting to maybe see an immediate Hex. But Lincoln Sphere, not too bad of a choice, I guess. With the Aghanim Scepter, you already have the aggressive part, so gonna go for that defensive one to follow. Just gonna go for like a well-rounded item build for now. And it's not only for him, he can just pop it, for example, onto the Phantom Assassin as well, the Lincolns that is. Make sure the Phantom Assassin does have free reign over the fights. At least as long as his BKB is activated. Gem now also picked up by King R. It is time for XX5 to just start the starvation process of BBC. Undershock, double damage, I think might have activated itself. Maybe really wanted to use it. But is there a smoke on somebody? Disruptor? Nope, no smoke for them. So just hanging around as 5. Is this a plan to just go down this way? Finish up the tier 3. Oh, never mind, Roshan is up, so that's the plan. New plan, guys. Get Roshan. Queen of Pain does bottle up a regen rune, so he's gonna have a full mana pool to work with. Still double damage active, and with the help of this double damage, gonna be an easy Roshan for them. 750 crits already, even without a level 3 ultimate for Nexus. Basher also will be finished now. But the thing is, it doesn't have room for it. He can maybe sell the Ring of Aquila, or give the Ring of Aquila to somebody else until he's carrying the Aegis. But regardless of the situation, they are still quite far ahead. 10k in net worth now, 10k in XP as well. But BBC, they are grouped up themselves. The one thing is that they're not getting the most amount of farm. SNY though is flying out to Padrino, so he's going to be a little bit faster on his feet. Still, the damage isn't all that scary coming out from him though. Then again, there's no mech, no pipe to mitigate the damage coming out from BBC. Only the 2 BKBs on the cores of XX5, the Phantom Assassin as well as the Axe. Axe though, working towards an Aghanim Scepter of his own, wants to get the higher just threshold as well as the lower cooldown, of course. That way, strategically you can even use the Culling Blade on creep sometimes just to get that extra movement speed buff. As a 4-staff is faced on Massacre, that might give them a edge here. Especially if Massacre grabs somebody, pulls them out, and then they clump up trying to go and help, and suddenly there's the Blink Echo Slam. Although Axe gets stunned, Brave Fire Blast to follow. No BKB used yet, tanks up the tower like a man. Does have the bonus armor from that Medallion of Courage for now. Nicely done by King R as well. But they get the tier 3 down. Do they back off now or do they want to go? Padrino will get caught, but he has the Reincarnation of course, so there's no point in committing too heavily onto that. Phantom Assassin stunned in the meantime. Fisher to follow. No poison touch though. Doesn't want to go too close, but they get King R again. Venture Spirit cannot swap him out, but he's alive. Blink Berserker's Call caught to Sonic Wave onto hook as well. They need the dunk though, but the Shallow Grave will keep him alive. Requiem Souls from a long distance. Solo drops low, but is it gonna be enough? Dunk one. Axe. He's gonna lose his life though. With the creeps, with Yapsor being close by, they do have enough. Now Phantom Assassin, he's gonna lose his Aegis. Huge Shadow Wave. Yapsor dropping low. Undershock. I think he missed from the low ground. Huge fight. Now, it's all up to the Phantom Assassin, but is his BKB on cooldown? Yes, it is. He's gonna go down the second time. What a fight. What an initiation. Man, hopes come true. Maybe it's true for BBC's side. Brave King gets to end a dominating streak. Man, that fight. Brave King, he only lost the Reincarnation. That's it. Nobody else died. No buybacks needed. They needed the Axe dunk to be there to get the Shadow Fiend down when he got Shallow Graved. It was a nice initiation from BBC, but King R even survived, even got his stun off, minus armor, whatnot. Berserker's Call up onto 2, but look at this 7k XP swing. About a 5k net worth swing as well, and oh, Radiant Courier did get sniped though. And it had quite some value on it. Okay, that was Padrino's Hyperstone as well as a well, almost completed Eye of Skadi for Hook's Shadow Fiend. But that fight, man, still a 8k network fleet, so item wise XX5 should still be quite far ahead, but XP suddenly 4000. Not that hard, guys, not that hard. I mean, BBC, I really didn't think it's gonna go that well for them, that high ground defense, but they just kept on poking Fissures, Ray Fire Blasts, bringing them lower and lower still, and suddenly, surprise, Batrider initiation, and we might have another one. Solo does get caught, no way to glimpse the Batrider out of anything. Fissure to follow, Shadow Rays, Batrider with the Flame Rake gets the kill for himself. So BBC, proving to be a little bit more tenacious than maybe somebody would have given them credit for. 13 to 20, the kill score. XX5 still having the lead, but they just got to taste, well, I guess bitter defeat in a battle. But the war is not over yet, guys. BBC may have won the last battle, but I highly doubt XX5 are gonna leave it at that, especially Queen of Pain. Another double damage on her, another regen rune bottled up. Is getting closer to, well, now I'm expecting that to be a sheep stick, although Padrino has the reincarnation level 3 now as well. 1 minute cooldown on the shock. Didn't really even need to use Scream of Pain, just Sonic Wave would have been enough to kill the creep wave, so I guess has the regen rune, so might as well use it, but overkill, guys, overkill. Phantom Assassin though, what's his next item? I guess finish up the Abyssal Blade, get some guaranteed lockdown. 2.4k in the bank, so 1.4k off. Buyback status, just in case. Shadow Fiend, the only one to have it on the Radiant side for now. Phantom Assassin, as well as the Queen of Pain for the side of XX5 on the Dire. Last hits, Shadow Fiend, number 1. I mean, not too far behind, but kind of tied up between themselves are Undershock as well as Nexus. Last hits aren't everything, it's also the amount of towers killed. And looking at that, there is a free tower advantage for the side of XX5. So if those free towers should fall in the favor of BBC, suddenly the net worth difference would go from 7k to 4k. As Hook, if the courier respawns, gonna have his Eye of Skadi finished. Padrino, does he have enough for the full AC? Plate mail is there, so not quite yet. Still needs another like 1.3k for that recipe of the Assault Cuirass. But that's gonna be a pretty massive item, to be honest. First of all, it helps you tank up against the physical damage of Axis counter Helix. And most importantly, the Phantom Assassin, of course. Negate most of that wave of terror of the Vengeful Spirit. Also, they have the Dazzle already anyway, as it is as well. So minus armor working against XX5 is gonna be nice. But wow, Disruptor gets himself an Aghanim Scepter. Solo spin, just getting some pretty decent farm. I mean, Yapsor has the same amount, but this Aghanims might be just a game changer here, depending on how big of an ultimate he manages to get off. Suddenly, well, with the courier respawning, Skadi finished. Dazzle gets himself that Medallion of Courage. 4-staff finished on Yapsor. Everybody's getting items. It's raining items, guys. Axe. Ace getting closer to level 16, and now with the Aghanims finished, if he gets level 16, gonna have a 625 health threshold. So if you drop to 625 HP or below, the Culling Blade is instantly going to kill you. And that's just not a high threshold. Batrider can only drop to half HP. Dazzle even less than half. Earthshaker half. And Shadow Fiend by far the tankiest hero there. I mean, Wraith King of course has the secondary life, so I guess he doesn't care that much. But AC will be finished once he gets a Chainmail. Only 400 gold necessary. This ancient stack I think might just be enough with the big black dragon. Padrino will get like about 220 gold I think from this. Oh, 167, man. It's crazy how much the ancient black dragon can just go from one end to the other just with the gold. I've definitely seen like 230 gold as well coming out from the ancient dragon, so maybe a little bit unlucky for Padrino. Does finish up the AC now, but AC in a good position. He's gonna get a stun, which will get, well, not dodged, but delayed. Fissure to follow as well. Padrino keeps on going. He doesn't care. He's gonna tank the front lines. Will get Shadow struck up, but his life stealing enough against the creeps that he just doesn't really care about it. Slow down Sonic Wave spent from Undershock, but that means Even though it's a low cooldown, 40 seconds, it's still maybe substantial. Padrino does get glimpsed back. Kinetic field also used already. BBC, they might even want to force a tier 2 all of a sudden. I mean, AC is there for them. Massacre activates the Firefly, ready to initiate on somebody. Kingar, preferably if they can help it, but Kingar staying rather far back, as is everybody else. So BBC, they might just get a free tier 2 out of this. Roshan will respawn in about 40-45 seconds. Padrino, nice battle hunger, a nice timing when no creeps are around. So Padrino will take quite some harassment from it, but stun into the axe. Right clicks to follow, but axe pretty damn tanky, of course. The crits start coming. There's the Fisher as well. Kingar already forced to swap out. In the meantime, Solo, he gets lasso. Can they get the kill on him? Berserker's call up onto 2 heroes. Sonic Wave to follow. My god, the dunk. BKBs don't matter anything. Dunk to follow. Blink Echo Slam does do quite a bit. Yapster, they get the kill on the axe. Padrino comes back to life. Wants to go for the Phantom Assassin. The blur, of course. It's not gonna be enough. With the help of Yapsor, they get the kills. Now Solo might be next. Kingar already purchased pack. So Kingar, is he gonna die back from this? Padrino, no blink, so not gonna get the follow-up. But in the end, I do believe a 4 for free. Not a bad fight for BBC at all, especially considering the double dunk coming out from the axe. And they did force a buyback on the Vengeful Spirit, so another huge fight for BBC. Just the tankiness of the Wraith King has been so massive. Shadow Fiend though, even with the Eye of Skadi, if you get caught by just Phantom Assassin as well as the Berserk Skull. And of course, great Sonic Wave also. But already 2.3k on Padrino. Queen of Pain still ahead because been farming with the Sonic Wave and everything. Another regen rune. How many regens and double damage have we had for Undershock? And with this, they're going for Roshan with just the 2 of them. Kind of a sneaky one, to be honest. I don't think BBC are really expecting such a thing to happen, and it's also gonna deliver cheese, whoever kills Roshan now. More TP's coming, it's Solo now up on the Disruptor. Static Storm is ready. Dazzle, is he gonna go and check things out, maybe leave a weave into Roche Pit? Does place down a ward. Kingar does come out of the Roche Pit, so I think, yes, Kingar is seen, but they're not going into Roche Pit. Suddenly, Phantom Assassin is there as well. He wants to get the Aegis for himself. Undershock makes room for the G's, maybe the other way around. Nope, Aegis goes to Nexus. And BBC just a tad too late. That's gonna be a hard fight now. Gets the stun anyway. Fisher to follow up onto 2x. Can he get the jump? Hex onto Padrino though. Minus armor as well. They need the crits. Nexus, come on, show me your crits. Never mind, Blade Mill activated. Don't crit now. Stifling Dagger. They will get the glimpse. Not too far. Phantom Assassin down to half HP already. Padrino gets stunned up, but has the reincarnation. Lasso at the same time. Axe drag to the high ground. But he drags him through the trees. Nice Fisher to follow Yapsor. Echo Slam still on cooldown for another 6 seconds as Nexus will lose his Aegis. Padrino go in mad mode onto Solo. The kinetic field will just be enough as Patrider up in the air. Kingar gonna lose his life, I think, in the end. Supports not doing that much damage to Padrino. He's still fighting, but he's up against 3 heroes. It's not enough. Finally, who comes? Nice blink Echo Slam Fisher. Yapsor gets a double kill for himself. They get the Disruptor with the Batrider finishing him up, and suddenly Phantom Assassin, he's on the run. BKB will expire. 4-step, nice enchant totem. Yapsor, man, what a player on the Earthshaker. Yule Scepter comes out from Massacre. They're gonna get the Phantom Assassin. 5 dead. What a fight. Ultra kill coming out for Yapsor's Earthshaker. Support Earthshaker, my ass. BKB picked up on him. Wow, 5 dead on XX5. What a massive fight. Look at those just swings in XP and net worth. This might as well be Rax. Phantom Assassin and Axe, they do have buyback though, so they might be forced to use it. I think they're going to delay it out as long as they can, or then again, only if the 2 of them, maybe they feel like they cannot even take Rax. Unfortunately, for BBC, Wraith King is not about with that AC for the minus armor, but looks like XX5, they're just going to be willingly giving away 1 set of Rax. To be honest, Axe with a Phantom Assassin, they would have been able to deal with a Dazzle and a Shadow Fiend, but I guess they didn't know how much backup was there. I mean, Yapsor could have been behind them as well, waiting for something. Oh, Glimpse comes out. Fisher onto Solo though, so no follow-up. Shadowfiend still has the BKB if needed. We'll have to pop it as the magic missile was just about to hit. Milliseconds before that, did get off the BKB, so they're gonna escape. It was a 7-second BKB, so still hasn't used that many charges to be honest. They got the BKB rather early on. But Massacre, he's gonna have his own BKB now in only 10 gold, which he's gonna have. So BBC 22 to 24. Almost evening out the entire kill score. Padrino will pick up a Demon Edge to get a Monkey King bar to counter that blur, of course, of the Phantom Assassin. But Phantom Assassin looks to be going for a Satanic, does have enough gold to finish it up, but might also want to save for buyback with the way the last fights have been going. I mean, last engagement, there was an Aegis. Cheese is still there on the Queen of Pain, but even with the Aegis, they lost that fight kind of miserably. BBC, of course, they just split out the fight quite heavily, and Brave King, yes, he had to pay the ultimate price with his life there. But even then, I think it was well worth the end outcome. And Padrino does sell, I guess, his Hand of Midas now. Gets the first Javelin, only 500 gold short of the secondary one. So with the Monkey King bar, suddenly fighting up against the Phantom Assassin a hell of a lot easier. Shadow Fiend has picked up a Reaver. Hopefully Satanic, not a Heart of the Rask. Man, look at how tanky he is already. 2.9k HP. Nothing to just laugh at for sure. But 40 minutes in, this is anybody's game. Looking at the graph, there is a 6k lead for BBC. The first time in this game they're actually in the lead. XP, pretty much the same. Versus look at otherwise. Pretty much from minute 1, there's been a lead for XX5. Now 10k XP. Wow. Man, impressive stuff from BBC, and I must say, I think I saw Yapsor the first time like a month or something ago, but on pretty much any hero, Yapsor has surprised me pleasantly. Just that player, man, it's like he plays support heroes, yet he just performs the actions of a core role hero. Let's just put it like that, and it just happens so often. Of course, the Earthshaker is a high playmaking hero as well. He still has a 10-second BKB. Now though, Massacre might blow the smoke of XX5. Is it close enough? I don't think so. Fisher, Yapsor, oh god, he's gonna be in trouble. Hexed up first. So, well, praising Yapsor, he's gonna get picked off here. Nothing he could do about it. Glimpse onto Massacre, but he's gonna be able to blink out. Man, just as you praise somebody, but then again, it's not like this death will have made his game any worse or anything, but then again, he's dead for 48 seconds, XX5. This might be enough time for them to just go and break high ground now. I mean, there's no tier 3, Glyph is up, the fortification for the Radiant side, so that might buy enough time, and never mind, the Earthshaker just now gets enough money for the buyback. I guess it was just only a couple gold short beforehand, but apart from him, only the Shadow Fiend has the buyback. So XX5, one good fight might still propel them to victory, even though they've lost so many fights in a row now. We've used negatively, will connect on 4 heroes, so a great start for the fight, or at least a great delay for the Earthshaker not to have to waste the buyback here. As Padrino, he just stood there, Thunderstrike, didn't care too much. He was not amused by it. But look at this, man, being a Rax behind from XX5. Already had to send Undershock back. Up to 3.2k gold though. Queen of Pain has some pretty crazy amounts of farm. Still number 1. I mean, Padrino is close by, but no Hand of Midas ticking anymore. As Massacre wanted to catch some stragglers, but XX5 moved just enough as a team to make their way to safety. But now a smoke comes out. Roshan, of course, still not up for at least a minimum of 1 minute and 50 seconds. But this smoke, Padrino, as long as he's on the front lines, as long as he has enough mana for a reincarnation, I think they're gonna be just fine. They have the BKBs, they have 2.5k gold on the Shadow Fiend. Buyback status, 3 heroes, all the cores on XX5 have it. So that's also a pretty important part in a possible high ground defense by them. But do they themselves want to smoke up now? Do they have a smoke? No, they don't. Or, I still don't think they don't. Yeah, they don't. There is a Satanic though up on the Phantom Assassin plus HEs on him. If they, for example, get the jump on Massacre... Oh, Massacre, he jumps in himself. Phantom Assassin might be in trouble. Sonic Wave completely whiffed. That's a huge cooldown that they don't have now. Eye of Skadi was used. Berserker Skull also does whiff. Brave Fire Blast. Are they gonna commit to it? Static Storm will try to zone them out, but the Fisher, no kinetic field. Oh god, Tai Axe still alive, but they had to use this BKB with the Monkey King bar. Cheese used Phantom Strike to try to get to safety. Yapsor, Blink, Echo Slam onto 2 again. They're gonna get the stun. Follow up Brave Fire Blast. That's PA down. Gonna have to buy back. But there's no King Guard anymore. Solo will be next. Huge crit. Or huge hits from Yapsor. Nice Fisher lands on 2. Massacre does get hexed up. Undershock wants to get the kill. Now Shallow Grave will save him for now. And Undershock went in too deep. Has to buy back off his own. Shadow Strike Might still get massacred down. Never mind. Yule Scepter to the rescue, guys. But the tier 2 is standing on this lane. Another shot goes back in. Is he gonna get stunned? Fisher is there. They need Break Fire Blast. They're not gonna. Oh god, they waited out. They wanted to get the stun now. Axe is gonna go down, and I don't think there's any escape for the Phantom Assassin. Phantom Strike up onto Hook. Gets the crits as well. Axe. He needs his Berserker's Call, but no, it doesn't come out. Enchant Totem stops the Berserker's Call. Hook makes it out. Gets his lifesteal going thanks to Padrino being there with the Vampiric Aura, and BBC. They actually come back from a 10k deficit. Massive high ground defenses. They were up against the first 3 Roshans. There were 3 Aegises that BBC had to go through. A cheese on top of that. They managed all that and more. They win game number 1. And man, they're only 1 win away from getting into Pro League, I do believe. But guys, this is a best of 3. So don't go anywhere. If you want to see some more awesome Dota, XX5 versus BBC game number 2 coming up in just a couple of minutes, guys.